Hey, aloha, I'm Bryan, and here again playing this 1886 or 85 Santo ukulele. As you can see, the early ukuleles did have fretboards, yeah, and they had the pins for the strings, and you can see the wear and tear. So this ukulele was played a lot. And Aaron has I think Manuel Nunes.
Yep, probably 1890s, a little later. Right?
And as you can see, there's no fretboard.
No fretboard on this one.
And then the bridge is
just the little slots to put your strings in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little easier, faster. And then this one, he's all creative with the fancy headstock. Mm-hmm. This one, just simple. A little normal, simple.
It has more ornate rope binding, ropes binding.
Yeah.
But yeah,
lots of fancy inlay on that one.
And this is like overthrow time, so this is crazy to be playing some songs on this. I'll just sing a couple verses of a song because basically that's what these instruments were made for, I believe, to accompany vocals. Yeah, and I'll sing a Hawaiian song, Ulu Palakua. And then the interesting thing is I want Aaron to play a song that's never been played on this ukulele in the style that it was made for. And so we just have at it. We can sound sample two different ukuleles. Okay, here we go. Kalana mai nei a olu palakua e niki niki ahi ahi ka omea o pani olo. E kulei a olu palakua ona me tawa puhi he viti maoli no haina mai ka puana a olu palakua he niki niki ahi ahi ka omea o pani olo. Palakua on this 1885 ukulele.
I hope you didn't strum a hole in the top.
No, that wasn't me.
There's not much left.
Yeah, I know.
But they're made to be played, right? That's the point, yeah. Yeah, we were looking at this one too, where like he just went all out. There's the binding and the little herringbone inlay around the binding, and a different binding on the back, and I think economic-wise, from as a builder's perspective, somebody came to him and said, "Yeah, just build whatever you want."
So this cost some script back in the day. I don't know what, $10 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, could have been $10. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and this one's a little simpler, but it has some of those Nunes things we're used to. It's got the little mustache down here, little inlay, and this follows through his career. He does this a lot. It's a beautiful little thing, and a pretty common kind of rounded headstock that looks kind of like the Madeira and Rajaus, and it's got that rope down the fretboard and around it. And one thing that's funny, I've been looking at pictures of these old things forever, but one thing we didn't notice till I got it in my hands is when you look at the back of these two, they're just a little rounded this way. And that's not normal, at least for how a modern builder builds. To think to arch that just because, it's pretty that way.
So it's not necessarily function.
I don't think so, no. It just would.
Now I'm going to notice.
Yeah, but it's pretty. It's just
I'll tell Casey come up to make mine with the...
Yeah, put in a custom order, right? Who stole the lock? I don't know. Oh, who stole the lock off the henhouse door? I'll find out before I go. I said, oh, who stole the lock off the henhouse door? Oh, who stole the lock? Oh, who stole the lock? As I was walking across the street, oh, I saw a pretty girl that I'd like to meet. I turned round to do my best and I stuck my foot in a hornet's nest. Oh, who stole the lock? I don't know. Oh, who stole the lock off the henhouse door? I'll find out before I go. I said, oh, who stole the lock off the henhouse door? Yeah. And it's like we said before, it's like you want to accompany yourself while you sing. This is like the way to do it, man. Yeah. It's perfect. It just fits right in the mix, and it's got that It's got those
That one
vibes.
sounds good, man.
Yeah, this one does sound
And
good.
you guys got to understand, these are over 120 years old, 30, close to, but, and we're, you know, we're doing what it was built for.
Yeah.
To play music, to create music, to bring joy in someone's life, whether the player or the listener. And it's still functioning that way, which is crazy. This is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky to be here to see these things. That Sean brought them back from wherever they ended up back to here and get them in playable condition and use them. Because a piece of furniture, it can sit in the corner and look pretty, but this is made to look pretty and do a job. It's a tool. It's like what we were talking about, like being able to take these tools and go make a living. It's a thing that we value as a people. And like, you know, if somebody put a gun to your head and said you have to play 60 minutes of music right now with this, you go do it. You make your money, right? So it's pretty cool to see these back in action. And I want to know who ordered that.
Yeah, really. I have a question. So all the friction tuners, were they all standard, or
No, well,
it's like however they felt that day, or was there like a jig that made these things?
These would have been available from the violin world, mass marketed. Okay, so like just 5-10 years after this one, I start to see mass market pegs, like ebony or plastic or bone, where they're coming right out of the box. So like from the Los Angeles distributor of when you order strings and you order picks and you order whatever, they could get these by the box. But this era, every instrument I look at, they're all a little different. They're all carved a little different. The shapes of the buttons are different. They're at a different pitched angle. They have little decorative carvings in them. You can see the file marks and the saw
Which
marks.
says they were all handmade. Then.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I know that later people are spinning these on lathes, but I don't think our friends in 1886, even though there's lathes in the mills here, I mean, they had them. But I think these are all made for each instrument.
And was it the material? Was it consistent?
It looks like they're mainly koa that I can see. I think sometimes when somebody found a harder wood, they'd use those. But I'm mainly seeing koa for these as well.
Ah, interesting. So that brings me to the next question. When, and there's controversy and there's no exact answer, but when did it transition from the Portuguese machete to the Hawaiian ukulele?
No, yeah.
You know, because there's so many variables as far as because I hear people say, no, that's a machete, that's not an ukulele. Or, no, it's an ukulele because indigenous wood and tuning was different than the machete, right? But because we don't have the instruction box with this, it doesn't say what this was tuned to.
Right.
You know, so I don't know when that line was crossed.
Well, it's also the hard part is, and for historians, it's a dynamic period. Things are changing fast, and sometimes you don't know that you have to document something until it's changed.
Yeah.
So nobody was like, okay, well, we showed up with a machete, but within 10 years, this has to be called something new. There was they didn't know that was going to happen, right?
Right.
And these European immigrants came with their instruments, and within a few years, that instrument was now a Hawaiian thing. And I think every time they built along the way over those 10, 12 years, you know, it changed a little bit. Yeah, and you start to get, well, customers really want this. Well, they really kind of like this better. Well, this was too hard to do. Or, oh, you know, it seems like they like this better. And then before you know it, well, now we want to mass produce these items. And they mean something new that they didn't used to mean. Changes are made. So, you know, like taking the fretboards off, we talked about. Changing from fir or spruce tops to all koa. You know, changing the way the bridges worked, changing how the inlay was done.
Well, what is or was the tuning of the machete?
Well, I think it was the D, and it's higher pitched.
Yeah,
right?
it's a super
real high, because then they had the bigger one, the rajau, that was tuned closer to what our ukulele is now, right? So I think there was like the big and the little, and there's things when you look at a rajau, like the depth. That's the depth that became the ukulele.
Yeah.
While these ones that are almost machetes, they're skinny, right?
And the rajau tuning was D, G, C, E, A.
Yeah.
Which is where you get the ukulele G, C, A. The rajau is a 5-string Portuguese instrument.
But if you leave the D off, we
then
get G, C, E, A here. So it's like they came two good ideas from Madeira, and then over time, Hawaiian people decided to take those two ideas, put them together, and.
But the Hawaiian people were the Portuguese cabinet makers.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Right. So that's cool. I mean, and yeah, so stay tuned for more information on these things because there's some stuff planned in the future to get more educational value out of not just the historical part of it, but sharing all of this information with the next generation of builders, players, lovers, so yeah, cool. And thanks again to Sean for having us and letting us partake in some of these instruments. Museum pieces. Yeah, I do that all the time.
You can sniff it again. It's okay.
I do that because there's a certain smell. There's no smell-o-vision, but I'm smelling somebody's DNA. There's sweat that dripped into this. No, I'm serious, right?
Yeah.
All the dust from that era is just, and it smells different, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. But again, mahalo.